So if you're not familiar with Consensus, Consensus is a very big cryptocurrency blockchain event that occurs in New York once a year. They just had their fourth event, and the the sentiment over the past several days, or actually before Consensus, was that we should possibly see a bull run in the coming days, or during Consensus and after Consensus, because in previous years that's what we saw. However, this year was different, and I'm part of several cryptocurrency groups. Obviously, we have Bitcoin Buddha. I started my own group last year as well by the name of Crypto Cowboys. And I'm in a bunch of other groups as well, right? So the purpose of these groups is to collaborate, learn from each other, etc. So this group I'm in, one of the admins, his name is Kurt Wuckert Jr., he wrote a really nice post that I want to share with you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and read this to you. Hey, crypto traders, hashtag daily discussion time. Consensus 2018, the fourth annual event, ends today with markets struggling to maintain their footing. This will be the first year that Consensus didn't trigger some kind of bullish move. So let's analyze why that is. So far, the big moments on stage have been the SEC on with Bittrex promising to keep people safe. Exciting. Obviously, he's being sarcastic. We saw Ripple demo XRep Rapid. Turns out pre-mined coins move quickly. Who knew? We heard some more promises about how cool Lightning networks will be from Blockstream. Heard that speech last year and the year before too. Then Snoop Dogg performed at the Ripple after party. Sounds like a real hoot. And Vitalik never showed up because the ticket price triggered him too much. Actually, it's interesting that you would have to have a Wall Street salary in order to attend a conference that used to be about burning Wall Street to the ground. Jimmy Song, if you don't know who he is, he's a very well-known Bitcoin developer. Jimmy Song bet that Bitcoin is the only thing with any value because dApps are stupid, but at least FedEx sees the value of blockchain as a chain of custody management tool, right? Do you know what the biggest difference between Consensus 2018 and years past? It was the attitude. Every dApp, cool idea, and techie promise was focused on integrating with the banks or the regulators' economy. This year, the focus was on growing portfolios and helping suits make more money with the efficiency of blockchains. This year, the crowd has been packed with people who don't understand and don't care about anything that isn't making them money. Aside from a few outliers, the crowd is just, well, different. In previous years, Consensus was filled with passionate advocates for taking down the hierarchical economy. We were in this specifically for the disruption and then the dissolution of a system run by warlords in fancy pants. Well, that has changed so aggressively since last year, I'm not even sure what to do with it. Since we got away from the focus of building a worldwide peer-to-peer digital cash system that will replace the dollar and switched the focus of speculation on digital commodities and efficiency tokens, we've seen a major change in the heart and soul of the movement. I've been saying it since the beginning of this Facebook group. Utility drives value, and the value of cryptocurrency is as a means of exchange. We need to use our cryptocurrency in the real economy. We need to use it with each other. We need to focus on disruptive cash so that it forces banks and governments to comply with us. We can't go begging them for regulation, or we will not win this fight against the hierarchical economy. Consensus 2018 has showed me that the passion lies right here on the internet, where it has been for the last 15 years. Let's keep the internet free and open. Let's focus on the P2P economy and trading to accumulate more cryptocurrency. Let's spend so there is healthy economic circulation so that we can show noobs the example of cryptocurrency's use case. Join me, crypto traders. Let's take that narrative back. And that resonates with me. See, Bitcoin is it's disrupting money, and it's really solving a social issue. That is the premise of Bitcoin. That's the premise of blockchain. That's the premise of the consensus mechanism that Bitcoin deployed many years ago. Now, obviously, we know that as of right now, it's hard to use Bitcoin as cash, meaning if I went to a cafe and I wanted to, spend some Bitcoin from my phone to buy a cup of coffee, if that cafe did accept Bitcoin, it'd be very inefficient. It would take probably 10 to 20 minutes for that transaction to complete. On top of that, the fees would be too high for just a cup of coffee, right? So Bitcoin has become more of a store of value now, and I'm okay with that because it still is solving a social issue. And that's really how we transact. So Bitcoin's consensus mechanism, which is proof of work, is decentralized and it is censorship resistant. We can't say that about pretty much any other project in the cryptocurrency market other than maybe Litecoin, but Bitcoin has the largest network of users in the world by far. And even if the fees, obviously the fees are lower than they were 6 months ago, right? So the mempool got slammed with a ton of transactions during that bull run of December and so on. And the fees went up drastic. I mean, transaction time at one point were taken up to like a day. Fees were just ridiculous, right? So Bitcoin has, for the most part, from what I understand, adopted SegWit, and other wallets and companies, exchanges have started to adopt SegWit as well. So that's brought down the fees quite a bit, and transaction time has sped up quite. I mean, nowadays it'll probably take like 20, 30 minutes for a transaction to take place, and the fees are probably a few bucks depending on the amount of Bitcoin you send. So somebody may be watching this video, but like, yeah, but it's supposed to be a cash, I'm supposed to use this cash. Well, boo-hoo, man. You can at least look. Let's look at it this way, okay? I would rather transact in Bitcoin if I needed to settle a debt or I needed to transfer money, quote unquote money, to another entity overseas or anywhere in this world, than go through a bank. If I want to wire money from one bank to another, it's going to take 3 to 5 business days, and it's going to cost me $40. Whereas a Bitcoin, you'll get it in 20 minutes, and the fees are way minimal compared to dealing with the traditional banking system. So really we got into Bitcoin. Yes, we got in because we want to not just preserve our purchasing power, we wanted to grow our wealth, because I believe that this market is the greatest shift of wealth we will probably ever see in our generation, albeit 95% of these projects will probably not exist in the next 3 to 5 years, because majority of these projects don't need a blockchain, because as of right now, blockchain is slow and inefficient. And majority of these projects are not decentralized, even though they may tout that they're decentralized. They're really centralized because they don't have enough nodes, and really they're ran by a company. So by nature, they're centralized. So you need, as somebody who's brand new getting into this market, there's a learning curve you're going to go through, right? And I'm hoping that the content that we share on this channel will help you minimize or shorten that learning curve, because I had to go through it. I had to deal with my own emotions. I got into this market because I believed that Bitcoin would allow me to unplug from the traditional financial system. But I also got in because, truth be told, I wanted to increase my wealth. Who wouldn't, right? So last year, just a quick story. Last year, all these ICOs were popping up. I mean, you could throw any dart at the wall and it would make money, metaphorically speaking. So a lot of ICOs I got into did well, but a lot of them did not do well, and a lot of them actually ended up losing money because we thought we were doing due diligence and we weren't. We didn't really know what we were talking about. We didn't really understand the underlying technology or the difference in consensus mechanisms and which ones are, sure, you get a lot of new projects launching or have launched already that are touting that their consensus mechanism is going to solve scaling, that they can handle. So Bitcoin, for example, as of now handles like 15, 14, or 7 transactions a second. You have other projects that are touting they can handle up to 100 to 200,000 transactions a second, but that's all theory. Like EOS, for example, apparently that's what they're touting. But, and I'm not bashing EOS by any means. I mean, if you invested last year when it was like $1, today it's worth 12, 13 bucks, right? So EOS says they can do 100 to 200,000 transactions a second, but that's all theory. They don't even have the mainnet launched yet, and they're going to go through their share of problems, just like Ethereum has gone through their problems as well. So they don't have the network effect, but Bitcoin does have the network effect. And what separates Bitcoin from every other crypto asset is that they're decentralized. They're really censorship resistant, whereas most of these crypto assets are not. And being that they're not as of now decentralized, we're basically back to the legacy system. The legacy system is ran by a centralized company, whether it's banks manipulating our money, governments, etc. These are all centralized systems that we got into Bitcoin in the first place. Again, not to grow our wealth, but to basically exit that financial matrix that has basically been robbing us every single month, every single day, every single year due to inflation and shitty monetary policies that's costing us. Remember, look around, man. Gas has gone up. Food at your local grocery store has gone up. Milk has gone up. Cost of living has just gone up. I live in the San Francisco Bay Area. If you live in the city of San Francisco, the average price for median price for a home is $1.61 million. I don't know the average cost per square foot, but it could easily be $1,200, $1,300. In Menlo Park, it was like $1,100-$1,200 a square foot for a home. You pay over like $1 million, $1.5 million, you get a shoebox that you'd have to like knock down and rebuild a new house anyway on the land. So really, you're just paying $1 million plus for just that small lot. For what? You know what I'm saying? Like the cost of living has gone up, and there's other variables as well that have driven the cost of living, especially here in the Bay Area, but really all across the country. The cost of living has gone up, especially in the metropolitan areas. So Bitcoin is more of a statement as well. It is allowing us, in my opinion, to buy back our potentially our wealth, right? So if you're brand new getting into this market, you need to understand this game. You need to understand that there is a learning curve associated with it. You need to understand there's a lot of, this market is built on stories, and stories that haven't really come to fruition yet. So stories such as, this project is solving a Bitcoin scaling issue. Well, we don't know that yet until they have the network effect that Bitcoin has, and that could take 3 to 5 years. So really, when you're investing in that project, you're really gambling, right? So I'm not here to give you financial advice because I can't. It's illegal. This is not financial advice. I put in my disclaimer. You got to do your own research. But just understand the game that you're getting into. And if it was me getting started today, I would only invest money that I'm willing to lose. And if you can't handle the volatility, don't get into the market. It's plain and simple. Understand the game, understand the market. I'd highly recommend pick up the book Internet of Money by Andreas Antonopoulos to at least understand the underlying technology, which is blockchain technology. So with that being said, guys, if you'd like to join the conversation, leave a comment below. Again, this post really resonated with me because, again, I think there's a lot of greed in this market. There's a lot of shilling going on. There's a lot of people pushing projects for their own, to sell their own narrative. A lot of people putting up clickbait titles on their YouTube videos about, Neo is going to be $1,000 this year, and let me tell you why, right? I mean, you're going to see a lot of this stuff. And I'm not saying Neo wouldn't be. I don't know. You're right. So what I'm saying is you see a lot of this crap online, and a lot of what you're seeing sold to you online is preying on your greed, is really is feeding that emotion. And you, in this market, just like any other market, and I'm guilty of it as well. And I've been going through my own learning curve, and I want to share with you what I learned to help you possibly shorten your learning curve. Is that you really have to take inventory of yourself and your own emotions. Like, don't let greed take over rational thinking. The purpose here is for us to create a conversation so we can make well-informed decisions to protect ourselves. Because at the end of the day, the number one rule to investing is to protect your seed capital, meaning do not lose the capital that you put into this market. Hope this helped, guys. Make sure you click the like button below this video so others can find this video as well. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any input or any opinions as well regarding the current state of the crypto market. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you click the subscribe button below this video and click the bell next to it as well so you can be notified anytime we upload any new content to this channel. If you haven't yet, go in the description below, click on BitcoinBuddha.IO. We'll give you a free gift. It's a free PDF, especially for if you're pretty new to the market and you want to make a sound decision and protect yourself as well with security measures, know where to open up accounts, etc. A PDF goes into greater detail, goes into more of the granulars with that. So make sure you get that. And also by subscribing to our list and getting our free PDF, you will also be on our VIP list. And when we do launch our course, which will be sometime towards the end of this year, possibly in September, you'll be notified right away. Other than that, guys, hope you guys are having a great day. Talk to you soon.